Hi there, welcome to Gardening Genes. It's a gorgeous fall day. The leaves are starting to really change now, especially the native maples starting to come down, so we think we're going to be in a position to start picking up leaves soon. But we have a lot of tasks to do, and the next 5 days are supposed to be in the low 70s, which is amazing. So we're hoping to get a whole lot done. And one of the things that we want to address is getting our garlic planted. And what I've done is I've saved the videos of what happened with the garlic over the course of the last year, so that not only can we show you the planting of it this year, but we can show you what to expect over the course of the year when you plant garlic. It is a very easy and very rewarding crop to put in, and I encourage you to try it.
Good morning. It is a beautiful fall day, mid-late October, and it's time to plant the garlic. The garlic I'll be planting was from this year's crop, and I'm going to select some of the best. I'm using a 6-inch apart planting. That seems to be the one that works the best. Garlic can be planted 4 to 6 inches down. I'm going to go with the 4 to 5, as accurate as I can measure by pushing it. And right now it's time to make my holes. And I've got a yardstick, and that's how I was able to get my first 6 from this point. It's just eyeball. Oh, look at this. You never know what you'll find when you're digging in New England.
What is that?
Clamshell. Or as we call them, quahogs. There's actually a little neck. Okay, with the holes dug, I'm going to put down some bulb tone in each hole. I will use any carefully measured amount.
Now these are the garlic that we actually harvested from this year's crop. This isn't all of them, but we have them sorted by size, and you can see that some are significantly larger than others. And it's a good rule of thumb to use the largest garlic that you have when planting. Now the garlic that Tom has in his hands right now, I separated those from the others simply because some of them are split, and that often happens when you have I guess inconsistent watering at the end of their life. Sometimes the paper is split, so but you can still use those.
I'm bypassing this one because I can see that that one's already going a bit mushy and is not viable. So we'll just make that into compost, and the one next to it too. That being done, I have 3 varieties. We had Chestnut Red, Russian Red, and Music. Music is the one we like best. We've had that 2 years in a row. But I'm looking for some of these red ones because I want to keep the 3 varieties. This one is more pungent. You don't need as much when you make something. So here we go. Peel back the bulb. It's nice and firm. Push.
And you just leave the paper on. Nothing fancy about this. Very easy.
Thus the first one. Oh, hence the name Hardneck.
Oh, here comes the supervisor.
Hello, Gizmo.
The other end of this garden bed has peas in it, and this is our second crop of snow peas. I will say though that the um, shells here, the outside of them, is not as tender as it was with the batch that we got early in the spring, probably due to the temperatures, due to water. They came up beautifully though, and we are getting a crop of peas. We've also got some lettuces going at this point. Although now with the warm temperatures this week, I'm noticing that some of them want to bolt, unfortunately. But typically romaine lettuces can take quite cold temperature, which is why we planted these as our late lettuce crop. So Tom has been separating the garlic and just setting them up near the holes that he wants to put them in, and he's picking the very best of the individual bulbs, the sections of the garlic bulbs to put in. Hi there, Gizzy.
With every bulb, you get a free row marker. See? You take the hard neck and you put it like that. Now I know what the row is. Now why is that important? It's not. It's just fun.
And this is the center of the garlic after he took it apart. And with a hard neck garlic, that's just going to be a very stiff stem. Some of us would rather primp than work. Yeah, that's you. Garlic are very heavy feeders. And so Tom's adding some additional compost to all of his planting holes. This bed has previously had peas and beans in it, which are legumes and are nitrogen fixing. And rather than pulling up the plants when they were done, all we did was cut them off at the base. So those roots with the nodules that should have fixed nitrogen in them should still be in that soil and will break down over the winter.
Okay, using a hockey stick. And that's it.
Now we're going to mulch them later, right?
Yes, gonna grind up some leaves and grass. When that's, and we'll give that a nice layer on top and wait for them sometime in, I'd say end of November, we should see some 3 or 4 inch stalks coming up. Look forward to it. We have not had rain for about 2.5 weeks, and there's no rain in the forecast for the next week. So I think the only way to give these guys a good jump start is to hand water. I'll drown them now and probably just let them stay damp for a week and then do this again depending on our forecast.
We still have leeks going, and we also have Swiss chard, which we use basically anywhere that you would otherwise use spinach in cooking. And there's also lots and lots of celery and parsley. Still going strong.
Okay, this is the ultimate boy toy. This is my shredder vac. Just attach it to the lawnmower. It needs to be a big lawnmower. Drive around, and it sucks up all the leaves and grinds them into this pulp, which is the ultimate mulch. Let's go finish off that garlic. Now, every bed is going to get a layer of this to winter over. So all my soil is protected. And believe it or not, in the spring, if I put down 3-4 inches, there'll barely be 1 inch left. The rest will be all decomposed. This is the most beautiful mulch. So this is a great way to take care of your leaves out of your yard and help your garden.
So now that you've seen Tom planting the garlic, what I'd like to show you is what happened to the garlic this past year so you can know what to expect over the coming season. So let's take a look at how the garlic grew and how we harvested the garlic that we used for planting today. And in the next bed, we have garlic. And this garlic is looking absolutely gorgeous. It's huge. It has really nice thick stalks. We've been picking off the scapes. Now, scapes are the flower of the garlic, and the reason you go and pick them off when they start coming up is so that the plant doesn't put energy into flowers and seeds, but continues to put energy into the garlic bulb itself. We planted this garlic in October. I believe that there are 3 different types in here, and we will harvest it most likely the beginning of July. In fact, some of the leaves are starting to get a little brown. It's when the tops and leaves start getting brown that you can pull it out, that it's ready to be harvested. Here are the garlic scapes that we cut off, and you can see they haven't gotten to the point where they've actually formed a top or a flower yet. So this is a perfect time to pick them when they're very tender and young, and you can use them in cooking. They taste just like garlic and they're absolutely wonderful used in any kind of dishes where you would otherwise want to use a clove of garlic. So it looks like Tom is busy in the garden. What you got going?
I'm beginning the garlic harvest. Look, I think that's one of the biggest ones we've ever grown. Look, very nice one here. They got a nice smell, a little bit earthy thanks to the dirt. I just watched a very informative video. In fact, I watched two. It warned me about not letting garlic go until everything's brown, and I kind of knew that, but what was more remarkable was I was told that if your plant falls over, that's a dangerous sign, because in this crack, moisture can travel down and do damage to your bulb. And at this point, the difference between me picking it today or picking it a week from now is not going to start adding another bulb to this. It's not going to make it another ½ inch bigger. So I'm going to take that advice, that if I see one, it's broken, I'm picking it. And most of these did just break. We had a storm. In fact, one of the videos I watched, he had just had a storm, and that's what knocked over his. So they didn't just flop on their own accord, they got snapped by the wind. But that was enough to send him on a cautionary picking to go grab those at this point. We're now the 5th of July. These have been in since October. As you see, a lot of these are still very, very strong, standing up. So I know those are going to take longer, but at this point, I'm looking in here. Oh, I see one more. Why don't I pull this one more? And my way of doing it, I tried pulling on a couple, but they're a little stubborn, but I stay about 3 inches away. Just get it to move. And up comes, hey, wow. When do you want your scampi?
So it is now July 9th, I believe, and we're supposed to get some very unsettled weather at the end of the week with some rains. And it's been very, very hot, and you can see that the garlic has actually gone significantly brown. So we decided that it was time to pull the rest of it out.
There are 3 different types that I planted. It was Chesnick Red, I put in Music, and I believe the other one was Russian Red. I do have tags, but as I pull out my tag, I realize the Sharpie, oh, here it is, yeah, Chesnick Red. So Chesnick Red is what's in the middle.
Yeah, regular Sharpies are not sun resistant,
And so you can see.
or UV resistant, I should say. So yeah, they fade.
And these were put in October. So let's start over here. I see a big one. Oh, nice. Nice little golf ball.
And so this is what we use to lay them all out on, is the plastic trays that you get when you buy flats of annuals in 4 and 6 packs. They work very, very well as drying racks.
Wow. This looks great. So we got the garlic, we got the onions, we got the parsley, and we got tomatoes. I think it's going to be a good canning season. But in the meantime, definitely some nice 8 to 12 count shrimp. And a whole lot of this. Oh, look at that. Isn't that a pretty little head of garlic? And you know, the best thing is, the garlic will last. We keep it in, oh, that's a little guy. Look, big stalk, little garlic. It's okay, he'll mash up good. We have a nice storage space. It's a basket rack in the kitchen. And last year's garlic crop, I'd say, although I used most of it, the expiration of it was probably late April. So boy, we got a good 10 months out of it. We dried it well, we cleaned it up well. Oh, pretty. And of course, once this all gets dug up, that means it's time to plant some green beans so that we can have, sometime in September, a nice little green bean crop.
So here is all the garlic that Tom harvested, and we have it set up in trays, and we will be laying it out, not in the sun, but we'll be laying it outside here in a place that is sheltered so that it can dry. It probably will take about 2 weeks, and then we can continue processing it. It looks great. Smells even better. Our garlic has fully dried, and so it's time to clean it. What we typically do is we cut the garlic stem off maybe 2 or 3 inches above the garlic bulb, and then we also cut off the roots. Sometimes there's a lot of dirt on it, and what I typically do is I will peel off that outer papery layer, and that takes most of the dirt with it, so that I'm storing it nice and clean. I also like to sort them by size. Smaller ones, larger ones, depending on what we're going to use them for. And then these are ones that separated. See if I can find a good one here. You see the papery layer actually split. And so these are dirtier than the other ones. And what I typically do is I put these all aside and we'll use these up first. So as I think you saw, planting garlic is pretty darned easy, and the rewards are great. So if you haven't tried it before, I heartily recommend that you do. See you again next time on Gardening Genes. Have a great day.